Good morning. This is Junaida Maruhum, one of the fourth-year BS Midwifery students of St. Mary's Maternity and School of Midwifery. And kani siya nga video, dili ni siya vlog, but it's a webinar regarding COVID-19. And I will be one of the hosts for today's webinar together with Miss Normina Bayaw as my co-host. Okay, so before we start, let's first have our prayers, and that will be followed by national anthem.
Dear God, thank you for the opportunity to meet together. Please help us to come together to make this institution reflect your kingdom. Breathe life into our ideas and decisions. Help us build a team that has love and respect at its heart. Give us the strength to continue working for your kingdom in this time of pandemic. Lord, come give us the inspiration to be the best we can be. May we be a shining example of your goodness and truth within, wherever we are. Inspire our thoughts, discussions, and ideas, and continue to remind us that all that we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for the pursuit of truth for the greater glory of you. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Thank you very much. So to begin this program, may I call on Miss Mary Jane Bontela for the welcome address.
My respect to our Dean, Ma'am Jocelyn Jimenez, our subject teacher in Administration and Supervision, Ma'am Rochelle Medina, visitors, classmates, a pleasant day to one and all. Today, we will be discussing on COVID-19 awareness. Each one of us is facing challenges in this current pandemic. I hope and pray that the COVID-19 will end, and through the lecture of the awareness of COVID-19, it would help each and everyone to be aware so that it could be lessen COVID cases in the city, as well as in our country. To this, I welcome you all on this remarkable lecture on COVID-19 awareness. That would be all. To God be the glory.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Adasa. So the next part of the program would be introduction of the speakers by Miss Rosemary Ligotom.
Hello viewers, good morning. Our first speaker for today is Miss Grace Solmio, a full-time mom, have 2 kids, currently enrolled at Picardo Institute of Technology, taking the course of BSM, Bachelor of Science in Midwifery, now in 4th year. She will discuss to us the overview of COVID-19 awareness. And the second guest is Miss Aida Niadas, currently working at St. Mary's Maternity and Children's Hospital and currently enrolled at Picardo Institute of Technology, also taking BSM. She will discuss to us about the protocol and health guidelines. And the last but not the least, speakers for today is Miss Cherry Jane Mangas, currently working at City Health Office as a midwife in Barangay Loinab, also taking Bachelor of Science in Midwifery. She will discuss to us the infected data update.
Good day, everyone. My topic for today is about the overview of the coronavirus disease 2019. The COVID-19 was affects on different people in different ways. The COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a newly discovered coronavirus. So most people infected with the COVID-19 virus will experience mild to moderate respiratory illness and recover without any required special treatment or going to the hospital. Uh, COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic. This is due to the rapid increase in the number of cases outside China over past 2 weeks that has affected a growing number of countries. On February 11, 2020, the World Organization or WHO announced an official name for the disease that is causing the 2019 coronavirus outbreak. The new name of the disease is coronavirus disease 2019. It was abbreviated as COVID-19. CO stands for corona, the V stands for virus, and D for disease. Formerly, this disease was referred to as 2019 novel coronavirus or 2019 nCoV. The the COVID-19 virus is a new virus linked to the same family of viruses as family of the virus as severe acute respiratory syndromes or SARS, and some types of common colds. The scientists, it was first identified on 1965, a human coronavirus. It caused a common cold, so later that decade, the researcher found a group of similar human and animal viruses and named them after their crown-like appearance. As we see in this picture, these are the flu or the influenza virus from the left, from the right side, and going to the left, the center was the common cold rhinovirus, and the third one is the latest virus, the COVID-19. They are lovely to look at. They are going stronger from the influenza going to the COVID-19. No, they are going they are beautiful to look at but dangerous. The human coronavirus types are there are four main subgroupings of coronaviruses known as the alpha, beta, the gamma, and the delta. There are the seven coronaviruses that can infect people, or the human coronavirus were first identified in the mid 1960s, and uh, it was infect people. There are four co- common human coronavirus. Namely, are the 229E or the alpha coronavirus. It was a foreseen epidemic of diarrhea virus or a condition of severe diarrhea and dehydration. And the second was the NL63 or the alpha coronavirus. It was H-cov bronchiolitis. It was identified late 2004, and it in a 7-month-old child with bronchiolitis in Netherlands. And the third one is the OC43 or the beta coronavirus or the human coronavirus, members of species of from which infects human and cattle. And the fourth one, the HKU1 and the beta coronavirus, it was a respiratory tract infection. So these are the common human coronavirus that are commonly affected of people around the world. No? So the 229E, the NL63, the OC43, and the HKU1 U1 viruses. So most especially na kani sila ay mga kanalang mga kawas, no? Then the other human coronaviruses that was discovered earlier, it was namely the MERS-CoV, the beta coronaviruses that causes Middle East respiratory syndromes or MERS. The SARS-CoV or the beta coronavirus that causes severe acute respiratory syndrome or SARS. And the latest, the seventh, there are the SARS-CoV-2, the novel coronavirus that causes coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19. Oh, as we can see here, these are the images of the crown-like coronaviruses. This crown-like spikes on their surfaces, no? So mao ni sila mga crown-like mga turns. So they're gikoronahan gud sila. So the coronavirus are a big family of different viruses. Some of them cause the common cold in people. So experts say SARS-CoV-2 originated in bats. That's also how the coronaviruses behind Middle East Respiratory Syndrome or MERS and Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome or SARS. So it was got started, no? Then the SARS-CoV-2 made to jump to human at the place of Wuhan's open air with wet market. There were customers who buy fresh meat and fishes, so including animals that are killed on the spot. The first human cases of COVID-19 was first reported in the official in Wuhan City on December 2019 sa China. So many of the initial patients were either stall owners, so market employees or regular visitors dito sa market. The environmental samples, it was tested positive ang Wuhan market. It was positive on the COVID 2019 and it was closed on January 1, 2020. As we can see here, so these are the wet market of the Wuhan city. So you can see here they're selling kanang bayawak, rats, mga cows, bats, and big seashells. No, so under area pud kay very crowded places. So if there's an infected person and then they're easily got infected tungod kay they're very crowded places. So the transmission of this disease, SARS-CoV-2, of course, primarily between people through direct contact or indirect or close contact with infected people through infected secretions such as saliva and respiratory secretions or through their respiratory droplets. So as we can see here on the image here, so the difference between droplets and airborne transmission. So droplets transmission, it can cause on coughs and sneezes and can spread droplets of saliva and mucus. So the droplets of saliva, it was caused by the airborne transmission or the tiny particles supposedly produced by kanang talking person or the singing person that was suspended in the air for longer and travel farther and going to our hair. And those hair, so matouch na to ang hair sa human and then it was then our hands was not clean yet and then put in our face and then that's a time na nanay chance na the virus can enter in our body. So this virus is which is expelled when an infected person, so through coughs, sneezes, talks, or sings. So it's important that we also practice respiratory etiquette. So for example, when we cough, we should flex our elbow like this, or as we can see here in our image here or if you have a tissue, so you can cough in your tissue, and then you're using tissue as put into the trash can, and then wash your hands properly with soap and water. So we should wash our hands properly, the proper precautions of the proper protocol of washing our hands, and most especially we should do not touch our face if our hands still dirty, and we should not touch our nose, our eyes and mouth, because this is the port of entry of the viruses. So we should be aware of that we should be more kanang more be more be precautious in our washing our hands, and we should be aware on how to kanang clean ourselves. And then and and there are the signs and symptoms of the common coronavirus. So the person, if the person was infected in the COVID-19, she has the most common symptoms na maka-experience of COVID-19, the infected person. So the first one is a fever. So that is the usually nga ma-experience gid sa tao, the fever, the dry cough, and tiredness. And the less common na ma-experience sa tao nga na infected sa viruses are some people will feel the muscular pain, the sore throat, diarrhea, conjunctivitis or sore eyes, headache, and loss of taste or smell, and then the skin rash or discoloration of fingers or toes. So, muna siya ang ma-experience sa tao nga na ay COVID-19 or the viruses. So, and most especially siya ko if you are infected of the COVID-19, so dili ra gyud siya kinahanglan nga ma-hospitalize. So ang uban ma-worsen siya if naa kay other diseases sa imo ang panglawas, like example sa mga oldies, sa mga seniors, they have already diabetes, or they have already cancer disease. So and then na infected sila sa COVID-19 or the COVID-19 coronavirus, and then it was the time na ma-worsen ang ilaang lang sintomas, ang ilaang gabation, and then mo na siya ma-lead usahay maadto pa madugayan ta sa going to the sa hospital, and then sometimes og mag-lead into death pagyud siya. So the 1918 influenza pandemic was the most severe pandemic in recent history. So it was caused by H1N1 virus, spread worldwide during 1918 to 1919. For 1 year, estimated about 500 million people, or 1/3 of the world's population, to become infected with this virus. So number of deaths was estimated to be at least 50 million worldwide, with about 675,000 occurring in the United States. The SARS-CoV-2 is a strain of severe acute respiratory syndrome. So it was related of coronavirus as SARS-CoV. So it is believed to have zoonotic origins and has close genetic similarity to both coronaviruses. So it was emerged from a bat-borne virus. So the coronavirus, or the coronavirus zoonotic, meaning they're transmitted between animal to people. So in a detailed investigation found that SARS-CoV was transmitted from civet cats to humans, and MERS-CoV from dromedary camels to humans. So as we can see here, no, these are the images of the dromedary camel. So the dromedary camel is only one humpback, no, or the other name of this is the Arabian camel. And these are the image of the civet cat. And the third one, the intermediate host, the bats. So the bats, the fruit bats, the horseshoe bats, and the Egyptian tomb bats. The fruit bats, it is mo na siya mahilig mo kaon og mga prutas like mango fruits, kanang mga guava fruits, kanang mga hinog na mga fruits, and dili gid siya advisable na we should kanang follow the leftovers of the bats, the fruit bats nga nahulog gikan sa kinanan sa mga bats, and then atong gakaunon ang ilang mga leftovers na mga fruits, and then So without knowing nga na siya positive siya sa virus, and then the Ebola, it comes from the fruit bats, no? Oh, and then going to the human. And even the horseshoe bats, so the SARS, the SARS, the NIV, oh, the bats, gikan swine flu, padulong dito sa pig, and in the pig, atong gina, ginakaon na to, going to human, and then the Egyptian tomb bath, so ito yung mga feces, ilang mga tae, ilang mga ihi, and then maadto sa camel, and then the camel gihimong meat sa human, and then ginakaon sa human. And so these are the intermediate hosts that we can see here in our diagram. So uh, uh, importante gyud sa atong mga kaunon is galutuon. So murag karon nga pandemic, murag reminders nato nga we should not eat those mga exotic food na kanami tong ginabawal gyud sa atoa. So we should eat mas maayo gyud kanang ginaluto na to ato ang mga gakaunon. Oh, so murag dili gyud siya advisable nga magkinilaw. So most important is we should be aware of how to kanang maintain cleanliness sa tuang panglawas, and then we should follow the health protocols no sa tuang kuan gyud sa tuang mga panglawas. O para to stop the virus, we should follow the rules that government protocols nga ilang gi-implement. So that's all for today. Thank you and God bless.
Good morning. I am Aidan Yadas. Today we are discussing about the health protocols and guidelines amidst COVID-19, the new normal. Together, we are powerful in fighting COVID-19. P stands for practice, cuff, and spacing etiquette. So, dili ka kinahanglan bisag asa mag-ubo or mag-sneeze. O obtain information only from verified sources. W. Wash your hands properly and regularly or sanitize with alcohol-based sanitizer. So, kinahanglan kung unsa itong mahawiran, magulitan, kinahanglan mag-sanitize ta. Use your alcohol. Everyday dapat isulod na siya sa bag para dili makalimutan. Eat nutritious food and exercise for 15 minutes or more daily. So, kinahanglan natay exercise food every day. And kinahanglan mokaon ta og nutritious food para makalikay ta sa COVID. R. Refrain from going to crowded places and crowded growing events. So, dili na to magamit atong stay at home jud ta permanente kay dili pwede bisag asa na ta mo maglaag-laag. F. Follow rules, regulations, and guidelines set by authorities. So, kung unsa itong mga rules and regulations nga gihatag sa government, kinahanglan mosunod ta. U. Use your face mask and face shield properly all the time. So, before ta mo gamit sa itong face shield, mag-sanitize ito sa itong kamot. Ito na siyang i-sanitize. Dayon, kinahanglan na ito itawag na itong face mask. And atong face shield. So, dili na ito kalimtan na itong face shield. Every time, magawas ta. Anaon. Then, L, leave at least 1 meter space between each other for physical distancing. So, dili ta magdikit-dikit. Kinahanglan na atay social distancing. Labanan ang COVID-a. Bida solusyon sa COVID-19. B. Bawal ang walang face mask. So, kinahanglan mo gawas ta na tay face mask. I. Sanitize ang kamay. So, Katong mga sanitizer, alcohol, dapat magdala ta ato. B. Dumistansya ng isang metro. A. Alamin ang totoong impormasyon. And for hospital setups, before ka mo enter sa kanang before ka mo enter sa OR or sa DR, kinahanglan mag-PPE ka. First, replace the outer gloves with new ones. So, ang imong gloves nga kuan gisulot pag mag-replace jud ka dili pwede nga for what kini nga patient then imo pud siyang gamiton sa second patient. 2. Remove protective clothing along with other gloves. 3. Remove goggles. 4. Remove mask. 5. Remove cap. 6. Remove the inner disposable latex gloves. And 7. Removal completed. For donning PPE for OR, first, put on scrubs. Second, put on shoe cover or boots. Third, wash hands. Fourth, put on N95. Fifth, put on cuff. Six, put on surgical mask. 7, put on goggle. 8, scrub. 9, put on gown. 10, put on surgical gloves. 11, put on double surgical gloves. Then completed. So, dili pwede nga magkarambol. Naagi ni siya i-flow sa unahon suluton, sa unahon hubuon. Then, kung sa una ibutang for sterility. And that's all for health protocols and guidelines in COVID-19. Thank you.
The PFF is closely monitoring COVID-19's impact on the pulmonary fibrosis community. While there are still many unknowns, we do know there are several everyday precautions you can take to help avoid infection. Currently, the best thing you can do is avoid exposure to the virus and other infections. This means staying home as much as possible, limiting contact with those outside your household, and avoiding non-essential errands, visits, and travel. When you do have to leave your home, practice social distancing by keeping at least 6 feet away from others. A face covering should be worn when in public, especially when social distancing measures are difficult to maintain. You should also avoid touching your face. Carry a small bottle of hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol in your car or bag. Use this until you can properly wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. When you return home, wash your hands as soon as possible. We also recommend washing your hands at these key times. Regular cleaning and disinfecting of frequently touched objects and surfaces can help prevent coronavirus and other contagious illnesses. If you're wearing a reusable cloth face covering, be sure to wash it after each use. Disposable face coverings should not be reused. Pulmonary fibrosis is a chronic disease and requires ongoing care. PF patients should contact their doctor about routine visits and testing, as many clinics are expanding telehealth options. If you feel sick, contact your doctor and follow their care instructions until you're fully recovered. Remember that everyone reacts differently to stressful situations, and that's okay. Take time to focus on yourself and your well-being. Read a good book, watch a show that makes you laugh, or call your family and friends to chat. If you need additional support, contact a licensed mental health professional. Please visit our website to learn more.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Ma'am Aida, for the information that you shared to us. It's a big help as we facing the new normal. So we need to follow the health protocols and guidelines. And now I'm presenting to you the coronavirus disease or COVID-19 disease update. First is the confirmed case. Globally, As of January 25, 2021, we already have a total confirmed case of 100,177,021, while confirmed deaths of 2,146,646. Total countries infected are 221. These are the countries with the highest confirmed case. So first is USA, followed by India. Next is Brazil, Russia, and the United Kingdom. Whereas Philippines is in number 32 spot with a confirmed case of 514,996 and a total deaths of 10,292. Vanuatu is the lowest confirmed case around the globe, which is only one case and zero deaths. Vanuatu is just, I want to share to you that Vanuatu is just a small island country in the part of Australia. So, gamay lang siya nga country. So, it's easy for them to lock down their countries as the pandemic pronounced or declared. Next, in the Philippines total confirmed case as of January 25, 2021. So, uh, in the previous slide, I showed to you the 514,000 confirmed cases, but only 27,764 are active case as of January 25 and recovered 475,432. So we're still thankful that though we're still fighting COVID-19, but the recovered and the deaths are much bigger, higher ang recovered kesa deaths. Next is the Philippine provinces with high confirmed case. So, naguna dito ang Metro Manila, so which is 219, but recovered at 208. Ang deaths nila is 3,971, followed by Calabarzon, Central Luzon, Central Visayas, and Western Visayas. Northern Mindanao, where we belong, where are not belong to the top five. So we're still thankful for that. So Metro Manila, these provinces are more populated areas or province in whole Philippines. So there we are expecting for them for the highest confirmed case of COVID-19. Next, Northern Mindanao. So Northern Mindanao as of January 31, 2029, we already have a total confirmed case of 10,118 and recovered of 8,844 and total deaths of 166. The first confirmed case of Northern Mindanao was on March 11, 2020. So until today, so just only 10,000. So we're okay pa gyapon. So, in Iligan City, COVID-19 confirmed case update. So, in Iligan City, where we belong. So, here we go. As of January 31, 2021, Emergency Operations Center Health Cluster confirmed total case of 1,200, which is our active case is 55. The 19 of them are admitted and 36 are in isolation facility and total deaths of 70, which is 5.83% of our confirmed case. So medyo taas paghihapon ang namatay sa atong confirmed case. So next, this is the census of COVID confirmed case per barangay in Iligan. So as you can see, 44 barangays in Iligan City, wherein 5 of them are zero COVID confirmed case. All are in hinterland barangay, which is Bonawan, Hindang, Panuruganan, Dulag, Lanipaw, and Kalilangan. As you can see, Tubod is the highest one, 149 confirmed case. So as Tubod is the biggest barangay in Iligan City, so we are still expecting that they have a more confirmed case than others. So followed by Palao, the next to Palao, and so on and so forth. So, just check on the slides kung asa mga barangay na belong so that you know the status of your barangay on COVID-19 case. Next is the country's kanang COVID vaccine. So, from the start of COVID-19, we are hoping for the vaccine. And finally, the vaccine came out with FDA approved by a um, emergency use authorization. Now, in the Philippines, we start rolling out coronavirus disease COVID-19 vaccination program on February. Carleto Galvez, the country's vaccine chief said, chief said at the Senate hearing on Monday. The bulk of vaccine supply from the Philippines, which will come from the U.S. pharmaceutical company or Novavax, is expected to arrive later this year. It is expected that we can start our rollout this first quarter in February, Galvez told the Senate Committee of the Whole. The first rollout, he said, will most likely be by either Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Johnson and Johnson, or Sinovac through COVAX, a global facility that aims for equitable access to vaccine for developing countries. It's led by the World Health Organization, the COVID Vaccine Alliance, and the Coalition of for epidemic preparedness innovation. The Philippines hopes to receive 40 million doses for COVAX facility. The government has allocated approximately 82.5 billion pesos. Uh, I want to share it with you that last Friday, we already have an orientation about the COVID vaccination. So as we all know, the frontline health workers, or we are the frontline health workers, are the first or the top priority of the vaccine. So this coming February, second week of February, hopefully one of us will be vaccinated for COVID-19. The next is the virus mutation. As the virus needs to survive on our surface, they need to mutate. So as we all know, as we heard in the news, that we already have a confirmed case of new variant of B117 or from the UK. So some of the mutation of the virus can affect the efficacy of our vaccine. So maybe if the virus become na siya, mas stronger siya or nakakonsya sa sa vaccine, mag-develop na ito og lain nga vaccine to fight that kind of mutating virus. So here we go. We The mutation SARS-CoV coronavirus point of concern. Mutation of SARS-CoV that caused COVID-19 came from observed globally. Viruses, in particular RNA such as coronavirus, constantly evolve through mutation. And while most will not have significant impact, some mutation will provide the virus with a selective advantage such as increase in transmissibility, such as mutation are cause for concern and needed to be monitored. So, muna akong ginayon last manggod na ang virus are expecting to mutate, kaya palagi siya makasurvive sa surface. So, now, there are three mutation of the virus. So, first is that was detected in 2020, September 2020 in United Kingdom. So, increase in transmissibility, nag-increase ang transmission. While the second detected last October 2020 in South Africa, increase in transmissibility and possible reduction of vaccine efficacy. So, mas delikado siya. No need to get down, mo develop at outline yung vaccine to fight this kind of mutation of the virus. So, last one is the first detection in Brazil and Japan. So, concern po niya, same as the number two, increased transmissibility and possible reduction of vaccine effectiveness. So, we pray that this virus will stop mutating or kanang makuha na bitaw sa vaccine ang iyang para dili na siya ma-mutate. So hopefully makuha na itong community, makuha na itong herd immunity para mo stop na ang mutation sa vaccine. So that's all. Thank you, and hoping that I can share it to you the update. Thank you.
After we have been exposed to an infection, our immune system remembers the threat, in particular by producing antibodies. These are proteins that circulate in the blood and throughout the body. They quickly recognize and disable the invader upon contact, thereby preventing or minimizing illness. This is why we usually do not get sick with the same bug twice. We are immune. Vaccines mimic this process, encouraging the immune system to make antibodies without us having to go through the illness. Some of the leading SARS-CoV-2 vaccine candidates are mRNA vaccines, based on incorporating the genetic blueprint for the key spike protein on the virus surface into a formula that, when injected into humans, instructs our own cells to make the spike protein. In turn, the body then makes antibodies against the spike protein, and they protect us against viral infection. This strategy is faster than more traditional approaches, which often involve generating weakened or inactivated forms of a live virus, or making large amounts of the spike protein to determine whether they can prompt an antibody response. Once a potential vaccine is discovered, a number of checkpoints exist before it can be administered to people. First are preclinical tests, which involve experiments in a laboratory and with animals. Scientists must ensure the vaccine candidate is not only effective, but also safe. For example, an antibody response to an imperfect vaccine could, under extremely rare circumstances, end up increasing the danger of becoming infected. When the potential vaccine achieves the necessary preclinical results, clinical trials can begin in a small group of people. As the vaccine candidate advances, it is tested on increasing numbers of people, with scientists and doctors closely monitoring safety, efficacy, and dosing. Upon successful completion of clinical trials, the vaccine candidate must be reviewed and approved by regulatory agencies such as the FDA before large-scale manufacturing and distribution gets underway and the licensed vaccine is administered widely.
And thank you for understanding kay nakabalo ka sa among setup nga go work while ga study. So thank you kaayo Ma'am Joy. So before we end this program, let's have Rowena Ardiente for the closing remarks.
Good morning, everyone. I am Rowena Argenti. I am here in front of you to acknowledge all who support and participate for this webinar, especially to our teacher, Ms. Rachel Ann Medina. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your support and guidance in conducting this webinar. And the Dean of Midwifery Student, Ma'am Jocelyn Jimenez. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your support and shared knowledge to fulfill this webinar. And also to the staff and all the students of Picardal Institute of Technology. Thank you so much for your support and participation. Our family, friends, and relatives, thank you so much, and God bless us all.